Welcome to IG Field in Winnipeg. We're just a few weeks from now. We'll be right back here for the West Final. But tonight it's Friday Night Football for the final time in year 25. The Bombers with a win tonight can set a franchise record. That'll be their 15th win of the season. On the other side, the much anticipated return of the remarkable Nathan Rourke. Exciting to see him back.
Yeah, Kid Canada is back for the BC Lions. When he was injured, the Lions were off to an 8-1 start to the season. Nathan Rourke had thrown for over 3,000 yards and was the front runner for MOP. He was the Lions nominee. He is back in the lineup. We will see him for about a quarter tonight. The front runner now for MOP is Zach Collaros, who will start this game, but probably only play a first quarter or so as well. He led the CFL with 35 touchdown passes this year.
That's 10 more than his previous career high. So a phenomenal year. Got him a contract extension, and now his team will look to wrap up with a win at home. The Bombers 7-1 at home so far this season, 14-3 overall, 9-1 versus the West, 9-0 versus the West with Zach Collaros at the helm. The Lions 6-2 on the road. Won the toss, took the ball, and we are underway. Friday Night Football one last time this season here in Winnipeg. This will be brought back by Williams on the opening kick return and eventually forced out of bounds just beyond the 30-yard line, and that'll give us our first look in a long time at young Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, that pace, by the way, as he started the season 8-1, was for over 6,000 yards passing, and that completion percentage just outstanding. Pretty much 80% of his attempts were completed. Nathan Rourke probably, as I mentioned, gets a quarter, maybe less, according to Rick Campbell.
His only loss prior to the injury was against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They'll start with 4 options, wide side right for Rourke. That's where he's going to throw, and he's got a completion to Alexander Hollins, who turns and pushes it ahead for a BC first down.
Well, there was
very close to a first down.
Yeah, that quick read and delivery is evident on the very first throw of Nathan Rourke, returning to the lineup, getting out there to Alexander Hollins, who moves from the slot back, or from the other wide receiver with Lucky Whitehead back to the short side.
I thought it was a first down. They marked it as being short, but then they gave him the first down. So it was a first down to Hollins. And option for him to stick around in this lineup, with Rourke back in at a Canadian spot at quarterback. Whitehead and Rhymes out to Nathan's left here, 1st and 10 from the BC 44. Rourke near side, and he's got Mackey for a decent chunk on first down. Let's take a look at this BC Lions offense, brought to you tonight by Expedia.
Well, it's awards time in the Canadian Football League. The nominees are out. Joel Figueroa, the left tackle for the BC Lions, got the nod for top offensive lineman from the BC Lions. There's Lucky Whitehead back in the lineup. Brian Burnham is very close, and Burnham, that moves Hollins out to that opposite wide receiver spot, but Lucky Whitehead back in for this game tonight.
And when Burnham eventually returns, it'll be Keon Hatcher who slides back out there.
Exactly. And
they've moved him all over in a really sensational season for number 4 in white. Here's Rourke. Quickly guns it in there right up to the 55. And that's Hollins' second catch of the game. And this one's also going to go for a first down.
There he is, that wide side. Just a little waggle motion towards the offensive line, and then quick crosser, sits down, first down.
Rourke has started the game 3 of 3 for 22 yards. Lions marching up to midfield against his Bombers defense. Bombers are going to bring some heat this time. It gets picked up. Rourke gets it away. Looking down the field for Hatcher. Broken up neatly on the play. It's Jamal Parker who went up and knocked it down.
Yeah, Jamal Parker's going to play this nicely. Rourke makes the right decision and throws it to the right guy, because you're right. Look at the defensive line and linebackers for the Bombers. They are coming. They're sending everybody. So when you do that, the safety's not in the middle. You got to try and go down the middle to the post. But this is going to be that first hit back for Nathan Rourke after the throw.
Big Jake Thomas dropping 275 pounds on you. makes a man miss, stumbles ahead, and that will be enough for another BC Lions first down.
Well, that's the other thing. This is a great call by Jordan Maksimic to go to the outside to James Butler really quickly here, because if the Bombers are going to load the line of scrimmage with their linebackers like they did on that long throw, then that little flare pass is going to be open and going to create a good angle for the tailback.
Butler had 52 catches coming into this game tonight for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns as well. He stands to the left of his quarterback now. They'll hand it off to Butler. Nowhere to go. Spins away, but eventually wrapped up by Casey Sales, who loses his lid on the play.
Well, pretty much the starting lineup for the Bombers are back. Jackson Jeffcoat was one that was missed for 3 games, 5 total on the year. He's back. Willie Jefferson, their nominee for outstanding defensive player. They don't get Donald Rutschman's back, but they do have the veteran in Alden Darby to play that spot. And there's Diedrich Nichols. He missed the game 2 weeks ago before the bye against BC. He's back at halfback.
Second and 10 on the Winnipeg 43. 4-man pressure. They get through the line. Rourke on the run. Bubbles the ball. Bombers hop on it and take over. Winnipeg recovers just inside their own 50. BC Lions were marching. The Bombers finally got some pressure on Rourke, flushed him out of the pocket. Sales is there. They knock it away, and the Bombers D steps up big early.
Boy, that caused fumble created by Casey Sales, number 90. You're going to see him go one-on-one with Jarrell Broxton here, and he did nice swim move to get right down Main Street and force Nathan Rourke to try and escape the pocket. It bounces off his thigh, and a couple of plays before that, Rourke knocked down, and he tried to get a little help from the opponent. Oh, Jake Thomas says, no, I'm not helping you up, kid.
Welcome back, but no love for them. It's a Rasheed Bailey to start the game for the Winnipeg offense. 6-yard pickup for Bailey on the sweep.
A little fly sweep to get things started. No Nick Dembski in the lineup for Bombers tonight. He gets a night off on this final game of the regular season, getting ready. He'll be good for the West Front.
Great season for Dembski, too.
Unbelievable. That's usually his play. That's why I mentioned it.
Looks like they'll have the entire band back together for the West Final in a couple weeks. Here's Prukop. He's going to take off, and look at this hole. Prukop down inside the 40, stays on his feet, taken down just inside the 35, and some fireworks from Dakota Prukop early, 21 yards.
Yeah, natural hole opens up to his right. When he sees it, he just takes it. We'll see what happens with the middle linebacker, Jordan Williams, here from this angle. He steps up, and he gets picked up by Brady Oliveira. Oliveira, coming from that backfield spot, steps up, blocks the linebacker, and that gives Prukop that lane.
Mike O'Shea watching on as his Bombers will have a chance to win one game at home for a trip back to the Grey Cup in a couple of weeks. They'll hand it off to Brady Oliveira this time. Oh, he takes some contact, but bounces back and pushes ahead for an 11-yard pickup.
Well, he's 71 yards coming in away from a 1,000-yard season, which you know he would love to get to. And you know, as this game goes on, you'll probably see some of the starters coming out of the lineup. So you know that Brady Oliveira would like to get to that 1,000 as quickly as possible.
3 plays for the Bombers so far, all of them on the ground. 6 yards to Bailey, 21 for Prukop, and 11 for Brady Oliveira. Working from the BC 22. Kolaris to the end zone for Schoen. He's got him! Touchdown, Winnipeg! Sweet 16 for Dalton Schoen in his rookie season.
It has been a phenomenal season for Dalton Schoen, the rookie. The Bomber Rookie of the Year nominee. Put his name on the trophy right now, with all due respect to all the other nominees. Dalton Schoen is your rookie of the year.
It's not just a good rookie season, it's an all-time great rookie season that he's put together this year.
Yeah, I mean, he leads the league in receiving yards as a rookie.
All night. All fucking night, boy.
Now that's going to happen all night. BC Lions are going to have a long one. Nice start for Winnipeg after creating the turnover on a Rourke fumble, driving the field, and punching one into the hands of Sean Leggio for the extra point and a 7-0 lead here at home, and that's exactly what he will do. The Bombers 7-1 at home so far this season. A nice start here. Collaros with his 36th touchdown pass of the year, 16 of them to 83 in blue.
I know Lions fans are wondering, how does a guy get that open in Dalton Schoen? Well, look at the pre-snap motion from Buck Pierce, the offensive coordinator for the Bombers. Sometimes you can get an offensive advantage with that pre-snap motion. The Lions aren't sure who to cover. They didn't cover any of the three. They were all frozen with the pre-snap motion, recognized immediately by Zach Collaros, and number 16 for Dalton Schoen.
By the time Purifoy knew what was happening, it was too late for him to get over there. And a touchdown for Schoen. Now here's Williams on the return, far side of the field. And he is stopped short of the 35. And now it'll be the BC Lions and Nathan Rourke. First drive back, had an early fumble in this game, but just outstanding prior to that injury.
Yeah, when you think about the two games prior to that injury in Saskatchewan, they played Edmonton, and you say, okay, well, it was Edmonton, they struggled this year, but 91%, 92% off the charts. You add that up and to average it, it's 81%, almost 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's where he was. And that was the trajectory for Kid Canada just before he got hurt. Now, can he regain that form?
Thrown back into it here tonight. Rourke down the field. Lucky Whitehead, and that's broken up. Excellent play on the ball there from Terrell Ford, making the start at corner.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that both Nathan Rourke and Rick Campbell wanted Rourke to play at least a quarter in this game, was to get the angles back and to get that release back when he wants to throw it, where he wants to place the ball. This one just a little bit behind Whitehead. He has to slow down for that ball, and that gives Ford a chance to catch up and knock it down.
So trying to get that timing back.
Timing back, where to release it, the angle, and when to release it.
2nd and 10, pressure from the Bombers, gets it away quickly. And Hollins was not ready, and that will fall incomplete. Winnipeg bringing the heat that time, and it'll force a 3rd and 10 for the BC Lions.
Yeah, and the receivers also remembering, you know, how quickly sometimes that number 12 will read a defense, see the blitz, and try to throw high.
Flintoff out for the first time today to punt this ball away. Lets it fly from just inside his own 25. Janarian Grant will watch and take it after a 40-yard kick. Grant looking for the near side of the field. They wrapped him up and took him down just in time. Javon Cotoy there to stop him. Grant, one of the more dangerous return men in the league. Zach Collaros with a 7-0 lead here at home. Well, you don't see many quarterbacks put together their best season in their career at this stage of their career, but that's what Zach's done this season.
Well, it's been a remarkable story and comeback story, really, for Zach Collaros, who a few years ago, you know, we thought maybe his career was over, and to come back and have the season he's had, over 4,000 yards passing. We've talked about the touchdowns. Front runner for MLP with, and again, all due respect to Kenny Lawler and Kadeem Carey, who we'll see tomorrow night. Or actually, they may be resting him.
Yeah, he might not play in that game. So,
but there's your front runner right there for MLP.
Oliveira on the handoff, and he takes a couple of Lions dragging along with him against this Winnipeg offense.
Their nominee for outstanding lineman, by the way, Stanley Bryant out there at left tackle. They get Michael Couture back at center. That's their starting group, the group that started the the regular season this year. Dalton Schoen we've talked about in the receiving corps, but Greg Ellingson returns to the lineup tonight, and that is huge for this Bomber receiving corps. Just a real smart route runner who understands the game as well as the quarterback does, and knows that space and time and when to be there and where to go.
Has missed a lot of time this season, still averaging, when he has been healthy, over 80 yards per game with Zach Collaros. Three options out to the right there for Zach. They'll hand it off to Oliveira, trying to push it ahead, and that'll bring up 3rd and short for the Bombers.
Well, it's late October in Winnipeg, and Coach O'Shea is setting the tone right there. I mean, he's just decided, look, hey, it's balmy, it's shorts weather.
I love the hoodie and short look. I do. It's one of my go-tos for about September until maybe not this point. I'm not wearing shorts around much anymore, but yeah. Brook up, short yardage. Busts through a couple of tackles and picks up the first down.
But it is a beautiful night, and way to go, fans of the Blue Bombers. And I know you got a great team to cheer for, but IG Field has been packed all season long, sellouts throughout the year, and you know that Western Final, they are going to go off. It might be a little colder in a couple of weeks here, but it is almost beach weather here in late October in Winnipeg. Just great night for football.
11 degrees at kickoff tonight.
Amazing. Amazing.
Wolotarski in the slot to the right of Collaros. Collaros is going to look down the field, and that'll be batted out of bounds. Ellingson was looking for a flag. Looked like he was almost out of bounds as that ball was coming in towards him.
Yeah, he looked at the officials, and he's signaling to Coach O'Shea right now to possibly challenge this.
Working on Hakeem Johnson getting the start tonight as Jalen Edwards-Cooper slides into TJ Lee's halfback spot.
Oh, no, looked
just a stumper.
It looked like pretty good coverage.
Second and 10 for Winnipeg.
Well, we might get a challenge
here. Late challenge. And out of the shorts comes the challenge flag. So we're going to get a few more looks at this.
Well, that's a long shot. So that's we call that the all 24 shot, where you get almost every single player in the shot. And
Winnipeg is challenging the previous play. They believe there was pass interference against their receiver number 2. The play will be reviewed.
So if you're challenging pass interference, and that has to be where the ball was targeted, and that's exactly what happens to Greg Ellingson here. Let's see if we can pick it up late. He's way out of bounds, so he was ineligible anyway. But the question, go back and take a look. He's right at the top of your screen here. There's Hakeem Johnson, the corner that's covering him. You see the extension of the right hand. Boy, it's tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Looked like almost a little hand fighting that led to a stumble from Ellingson. Both officials were right there. You saw Ellingson turn around and say, really? Like, you're not going to throw a flag on that one? So O'Shea has taken a challenge here. He's won 7 and lost 4 this year. And let's get an official ruling down on the field.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. There is no pass interference. Winnipeg is charged with a first-team timeout. It's second down.
Yeah, I think a lot of that decision was based on the fact that those were the angles, and from those angles, there's not enough proof to overturn a call. But I think Coach O'Shea probably in that instance is trusting in his receiver, and maybe there was more than we could see.
So it's second and 10 on the BC 48. 3 options to the left for Collaros, 2 over to the right. Looks to the left, now to the right, throws to the right. And he's got Wolotarski And they'll be just shy of a first down. Give Wolotarski 9 on his first catch returning to the lineup.
So this time of year, we start talking about protection and running game and the guys up front. And just watch their nominee and Stanley Bryant. He locks down his man on the outside. Kolar's got a nice, clean pocket to step in and throw that curl route for the first down. I mean, this is where the big boys go to eat. Right here, this time of year.
That's a big guy coming at him, too, and Boom Guatram. Prukop back in the game. 3rd and a yard. This time takes it pretty much straight ahead, finds some space, and lunges through a hole for a first down against this BC Lions defense.
Yeah, no Sione Tehema tonight. He'll take tonight off, but Boom Guatram is back at defensive end. So see Boom Guatram, who's just in a one-on-one with Stanley Bryant on that last play in the linebacking core. Emmanuel Rugamba is the nominee for outstanding rookie for the Lions. And then back in the secondary, Hakeem Johnson will play the corner, and Jalen Edwards-Cooper plays TJ Lee's halfback spot. He gets the night off. He'll be good for the playoffs.
Lions defense with 44 sacks, second best in the league. Kolaris over the middle. And that is complete to Ellingson, secures the ball and is taken down inside the 15.
That's what I mean about time and space with Ellingson. This is a reroute. If he's got man-to-man coverage, he runs right through the man, but he sees zone, so he sits and slows down right in that window so Zach Collaros can find him, and that's a 26-yarder. Pitch and catch.
Winnipeg offense, even without Dembski tonight, looking pretty efficient here in the early going. Less than 2 minutes to play, first quarter. They lead 7-0, and they're looking for more. Back in the red zone, some pressure coming. Kolaris with a flag on the play, throws it to the end zone, and that one will fall incomplete. Edwards-Cooper defending against Schoen. Schoen calling for a flag. There's already flags down on the field, and we'll have to sort this out.
Number 98. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
I thought Guatram came around there pretty quickly.
Trying to get his timing back as well. Here's the corner route. This time they're just going to go straight trips, 3 receivers to that side, and might have had an argument there if it.
Schoen gets another hand up there. He probably hauls that one in, right?
And if that's challenged, they probably win that one.
Whoa! Little confusion. Kolaris just has to throw it away with his left hand. Guatram gets up, chats with the official, and a late flag here on the play.
Yeah, because did Zach Collaros cross the line of scrimmage with that throw? If it crosses the line of scrimmage, then it's fine to throw it away like that. But if it doesn't, there has to be a receiver
intentional
nearby.
Ground just Winnipeg number 8.
That's just either Zach went the wrong way or Brady Oliveira went the wrong way. So it's a busted play offensively. He's trying to just get it out of there. Double check the play call on his wristband.
Swicks hands, got it away, but it'll be a 9-yard loss when it's all said and done.
He knows which guy went the wrong way.
Yeah. Officials still discussing things at the 15-yard line here. Listening maybe to a command center here.
Has been corrected by the video official. The ball was thrown away from the 11-yard line. It's going to be second down from the 11-yard line.
All right, so it'll be a 4-yard loss. Thrown away from the 11-yard line is what Ben Major had to tell us.
So they'll take second down and not the penalty. And got one shot for second and goal.
Kolaris, time in the pocket. Now he's going to take off out on the run. Gets around a defender, throws it to the end zone. Back in the end zone, got it.
scrimmage. He was very close. He was getting close to it, trying to buy some time. He gets Rasheed Bailey, who a couple weeks ago against the Lions with Drew Brown playing quarterback had a big game, 100-yard gain, but Collaros on the run. Well, he has been fantastic this year creating. Nice catch by Bailey to go down and get his hands underneath this. Ruled a catch on the field. They get both arms. It looks like he kept it off the turf, so that's fine. Now it's a matter of where Collaros was when he let go of that football.
The ball, the line of scrimmage was the 11. Right, so was he over the 11-yard line when he let that ball go? I think it was very close.
Take a look again and see. So you're right. He's right at the line of scrimmage. There's the ball right at the 11. So let's take a look. He'll step up. And then he flattens it out. Gets close to the line here.
Whoa,
whoa baby.
Oh. Legio will knock that one through. We're being told that Zach's back foot was still at the line of scrimmage, I guess up in the air. Wow. As he let that ball go. So as close as you can possibly get. Magic feet of Zach Collaros going to work again. See that back foot? Woo! Bailey will take it. It's his 9th of the year.
Now let's take one more look. I know Lions fans are curious as to just how close he was. The command center did review it and they looked at it before they kicked the extra point, but you get up to that 11-yard stripe, stop it right there. Okay, so that foot is behind the 11, that lead foot is in the air, and the ball leaves his hands right there. So I mean, you're right, as close as you could possibly get to being over the line of scrimmage, but Zach Collaros knew exactly where he was. That right foot down, the left foot in the air, across the line, but not touched. That means it's a legal throw.
Nice start for Collaros. 4 of 5, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Let's go, ring that bell tonight, baby. 2-1-5, baby, let's go.
Rasheed Bailey cheering for the Phillies in the World Series. Williams takes it at the 10. Untouched to the 30. Stays on his feet, pushes it out just beyond the 35-yard line. For more on Nathan Rourke's road to recovery, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, Dustin, while many of us thought Nathan Rourke's season was over, in fact, his plan was to always come back, and the surgical procedure used reflected that. Initially, they were going to put a screw into the ligament around that Lisfranc joint, but in the end, they decided to also put a plate in that joint, and that was designed to make it structurally more sturdy, more stable. That plate is eventually going to come out at some point after the season, but the hope was that that would speed up the recovery time. It wouldn't affect him long term. It would help him both short term and long term, and it's because he really wanted to come back and play this season. He's that invested to this team. He wants to finish what he started. One interesting thing here on the sideline, when he comes to the bench and he's looking at the iPad, he's actually got his foot elevated on the bench. So a few little things are doing extra for him as he tries to complete the process heading into next week.
Do you think this is the last we see of him in this game? Quarter in?
Well, that was the plan. Rick Campbell said it would either be like around a quarter or less, he said. So if he thought he had sort of a good rhythm going early, it might only be a couple of series. This may be his last, working it out.
Bombers are showing some pressure. Now they just run 4. Rourke, Lucky Whitehead, completion for a first down just inside the BC 50, and that will do it. 12 yards to Lucky Whitehead to wrap up the first quarter. The Bombers 7-1 at home and off to another sensational start at IG Field. They lead 14-0, bringing it on both sides of the football. All Winnipeg, quarter number 1. First quarter in the books here in Winnipeg. The Bombers on top 14-0. Our first look in months at Nathan Rourke. And what have you thought? We've seen him 3 possessions now.
Yeah, well, the first possession, I thought the first 3 throws, the recognition of the defense and his quickness in processing what he saw and getting the ball out of his hands looked good. And then a little bit off on a couple of those deep throws, and that's why he needs these reps right now and just to get a feel for that foot. I'll say this about Zach Collaros and the Winnipeg offense coming off the bye. They look sharp.
They look really sharp,
Very
don't they?
sharp.
Yeah. We'll see how much longer Zach needs to be in this football game. Drew Brown, or the capable of taking it the rest of the way, played BC just a couple of weeks ago. Rourke remains in there for now as we start the second quarter. First and 10 to the BC 49. Rourke gets it away as he's hit. He's got a completion, and that'll be a first down just inside the 50. First time today he gets it to Dominique Grimes.
You know, and as important as it is to get timing and get his rhythm back, his accuracy back, this is as important, taking hits. I mean, he takes one as he lets it go there. That was Malik Clemens that got him. And that's important, too, just for him to understand and be confident that he can step up in the pocket and not worry about that foot.
Fresh set of downs from the Bomber 47. Lucky Whitehead, heavy hit from Nichols. Bounced him back as he held on to that one.
He landed with his helmet! He landed with his fucking helmet!
Man, Bombers defense right in his face, too.
There's Lucky Whitehead right there. Quick snap, quick slant, and see Dedrick Nichols coming up in there with that shoulder pad. I heard from the BC bench saying he led with his helmet. No penalty flag.
Pipkin into the game, pushing ahead on second and short. And Prukop and Pipkin take care of business so far here tonight.
But you see those 2 plays and how quick he was processing, getting the ball out of his hands.
Very similar to the beginning of the season.
Absolutely, like just real quick reads of the defense, and then bam, it's gone. I mean, when I put a clock on him for our pregame hit, less than 2 seconds on a couple of deep balls. It's hard to get pressure on a quarterback if you throw it in less than 2 seconds.
Lions working from the Winnipeg 35. They'll get it to Butler. Really hasn't got much going on the ground so far tonight. Pushes us ahead about 5 yards down to the Bombers 30.
So, you know, trying to assess how he looks in his first game back after missing really the whole second half of the season. First couple of throws, again, processing quickly, got it out of there, took a hit on a deep ball, was a little bit behind Lucky Whitehead, had the fumble. But that was really the first time he had to try to escape the pocket. Hasn't shown any limp or anything like that.
A little bit of a rough ride from the Bombers D. Rourke near side, stumbling was Grimes as that was headed in his direction, and he couldn't really recover and hang on.
I tell you what, you should have seen the reaction from Nathan Rourke after this throw. You might get a good angle of it here. This is Grimes' angle. And it's too low. That ball is thrown too low, and this is the accuracy that he's working on through reps. Watch his reaction. Like, come on. I made that throw in my sleep in the first half of the season. You know, he'll get it back.
Sean White hit 24 of his last 25. And will knock another one through. League best 91.7% coming into the game tonight for one of the best to ever do it. Greg Ellingson back for the Bombers, involved in this offense that right now has a 14-3 lead. A welcomed addition late in the season to the Bombers offense. Getting Greg Ellingson back here has got to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, missed 7 games, 10 total on the season, but the last 7. So he, just like Nathan Rourke, trying to get back into game speed. Second to last game before his injury was against the BC Lions in July. He was targeted 7 times, caught them all for 98 yards and a touchdown.
Polaris to the sideline with his team on top 14-3. Prukop into the game. And it looks like Prukop will get a chunk of time here now. Might see Drew Brown a little bit later on as well.
Yeah, Drew Brown, before the bye against BC Lions in BC, played the entire game. He was pretty good at 23 for 30, 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. But this plays to the philosophy of Michael O'Shea. We coach them all.
Yeah.
He's getting every single player on his roster ready for game action.
Lions are going to bring some pressure. Prukop throws it behind Schoen, but there's a flag on the play. And Prukop picking himself up off the turf. Got that away just in time. There's a lot of pressure in his face here. Yeah, let's get the call.
Roughing the passer, BC, number 92. It's a 15-yard penalty, makes it a first down.
Josh Banks, the guilty party here.
There he is. Boy, a real hard pass rush. Can't hit the quarterback low in the pocket.
Handed off. Oliveira trying to cut it back. Rugambo's there to make sure he doesn't take it too far. Short pickup.
That was quite the bull rush, and I don't think it was the deliberate low hit by Josh Banks.
It's kind of pushed right through his man.
Yeah,
right?
he just, his momentum took him into the legs, but that doesn't matter. Still a penalty. There's your defensive coordinator for the BC Lions, Ryan Phillips. Number 2 in the league in points allowed. The most important stat for a defense. Points allowed. Don't allow points.
That's really what it all comes
Really
down
simple.
to.
Yeah.
Prukop incomplete. Looking for O'Leary orange. Had a decent crack at it. But that'll bring up 3rd down. And Leggio will trot out onto the field. Terry Williams trying to get this BC return game going, and certainly has been better since they brought him in.
Yeah, has it ever. You think about the 341 return yards against the Bombers 2 weeks ago.
One of the best ever.
Yeah. Best ever in Lions history.
Leggio, low kick just inside his 50. Williams takes it at the 10. He has nowhere to go. He was being patient, trying to see something open up, and they just kept closing in on him. And eventually will track him down. Well, there he is, Vernon Adams Jr. It's like we've seen the last of Rourke tonight. Welcome back to IG Field in Winnipeg. With this being the final Friday Night Football of the 25th anniversary season, we would like to acknowledge one of our own. Cameraman Jim Young has worked on all 25 years of Friday Night Football. Giraffe, as he affectionately has been called, has been going through some difficult times and was unable to finish the season. Jim, we are thinking of you and your family here in your hometown of Winnipeg tonight. Thank you for all you have done for us here at TSN.
Well, this time of year, those cameramen, linebacker tough.
They earn it, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Incompletion here. Adams back in. Winnipeg native Jim Young watching at home tonight. Once again, our thoughts are with you, man.
So Vernon Adams, 4-2 as a BC Lion.
He's been worth the price, right?
Absolutely.
You know, paid a pretty price to get him. Keon Hatcher takes that completion, and that'll be a first down for the Lions.
Blitz coming from Adam Bighill on this last play, but Vernon Adams stood in there nicely. Here comes Bighill, and when Bighill is on his way, it can rattle a quarterback. Not the case that time for Vernon Adams. He
Took Nichols on the tackles. A friendly fire from Alexander at the end of it. Hatcher closing in on a 1,000-yard season himself. He's in the slot. Adams thought about it, now dumps it off to Anderson. He's got some room to run, and he'll take it up the field, stepping out of bounds just inside his own 40.
Yeah, design play and call by Vernon Adams to fake it to the bubble screen and try to get the linebackers, not necessarily to go chase after it, but to freeze so that he can throw the screen the backside. But there's his numbers, 4 and 4. Won 3 of the last 4, leading the Lions to that home playoff spot next week.
Crowd here, rocking at IG Field. Adams near side, misses everything, and it falls incomplete. Hatcher looking at it, and VA will say that one's on me.
Yeah, he let it go and tried to reach to grab it back.
Pull it back. Oops, not ready.
And the reason for it is that Hatcher read the defense correctly and didn't run it out. He just kind of sat in the curl, and Vernon Adams threw the out.
Fourth time in club history that BC has finished second in the West. They've never hosted Calgary in the West semifinal. Whitehead, and that was defended well. Ford is there just at the right time to bat it away. He's made a couple of decent plays getting the start here tonight.
The Waterloo product, Terrell Ford coming up big here, and you know, Lucky Whitehead's going to remember as he gets some more playing time. Remember, he's coming off injury too, to come back to the football there. Just take a couple of steps back towards the line of scrimmage to keep that separation with the DB, but take nothing away from a great break from Terrell Ford.
Flintoft drops it into the hands of Grant at his own 20. Grant puts his head down, lunges back up to the 30. A short return that time as they contain Denary and Grant. Farhan Lalji will have more on that man, Brady Oliveira, when we return. Brady Oliveira closing in on 1,000 yards. For more on his season, let's send it down to Farhan.
Yeah, guys, just 46 yards away, came into the game 81 yards away, and he told me earlier this week he really feels the offensive line is blocking harder for him as the season has progressed here, and he thinks one of the reasons for that is the amount of time he spends with the offensive line in the film room, and that's something he learned from Andrew Harris when he was here. Back then, the O-linemen here in Winnipeg used to really make it a point of pride blocking for Harris. They loved how much he invested with them. They're now seeing the same things from Oliveira. He says the chemistry is really good. He's starting to read the block so much better, and it's turning into a win-win in terms of balance as he's completely taken over as far as that starting running back job is concerned. He's not splitting it with Johnny Augustine. It's his job. He thinks that chemistry is really starting to take root now.
Well, it could go a long way for the rest of this season and for his career here in Winnipeg, being a local kid who just wants to have success for his favorite team.
You know what? That's what I took from that Zoom call more than anything. Just how proud he is to be a Manitoban. You know, he loves this province. He loves the fans of this football team, and he does not want to let them down. And he made that very clear on our Zoom call.
2nd and 10. Who got near side, trying to lunge back for it was Rashid Bailey, working against Gary Peters, who's having an excellent season. And that one falls incomplete, brings up 3rd and 10.
So it gives you a quick perspective, right? I mean, Zach Collaros comes out to start the game and goes down the field, scores, and then goes down the field and scores, and then they sit him down. And Prukop, who's made a couple of good throws and looks like he's comfortable back there, has been thrown out a couple of times.
He's not the MOP. I mean, right? Like,
exactly.
That's what Zach is. Yeah.
Just the year that Zach has had. And I agree with the idea to take him out, by the way. That's not what I was trying to.
Williams on the return, tracked down from behind by Mike Miller, able to take him down. So we're just getting started here. Week 21 in the Canadian Football League will continue tomorrow. The old Super Saturday triple header, Montreal and Toronto, Hamilton and Ottawa, and then we will be in Calgary to wrap up the regular season with the Riders and the Stampeders in Game 3 of the triple header.
So for the Calgary Stampeders, think about this in the West Division, the playoffs around the corner. at 12 wins, and if they win tomorrow, 13 wins and not have a home playoff game.
It doesn't happen very often. That's how dominant these three teams that are going in the West playoffs have been so far this year. Adams, pocket collapses, escapes out to the right, puts on the brakes, cutting ahead, and he stopped just shy of the 45.
Well, this is one where Vernon Adams, or the quarterback room anyway, takes the offensive line out and says, okay guys, there was no completion here. I ended up scrambling, but you gave me like about a day and a half in the pocket to throw the ball. I mean, this is Jackson Jeffcoat. They switched out Willie Jefferson, but he was in there for quite some time before he decided to run. Pretty good blocking up front. That was a 7-second pocket.
Ends up getting 3 yards out of it. Four options out to his left.
Good coverage by the secondary.
That's where he will throw. It's Hatcher coming back for it. And that should be a 1,000-yard season for Keon Hatcher.
Yeah, let's talk about just what you said there, Destin. Watch him come back. Runs that curl, 3-4 steps hard back to the football. That causes a separation. He'll keep the ball 1,000 into the trophy case. 1,000-yard season.
And we always say, oh, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks, but we talk about him all the time. It still seems like a quiet 1,000-yard season, considering what Rhymes has done this year as well. So congratulations to Keon Hatcher, hitting 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. This ball batted down. Lee Clements comes cruising through.
Clements doesn't get it. Nichols does.
I was going to say Nichols gets that for sure if Clements didn't get his hands on it.
It's like a double block at the net for volleyball with two up there.
That's the only purpose I ever managed to serve in volleyball was to block at the net. That's
there you
it.
go.
Nothing else. Pressure coming from the Bombers this time. VA, nice move. Now he's going to look down the field to Hatcher, and this one will fall incomplete. Brandon Alexander right on his back, and that'll bring up third down with just under 4 minutes to play here in the first half.
What a great move, though, by VA in the pocket to bail out of that blitz and get himself some time. He gave Hatcher a chance, and we've seen him make this catch. But watch the move in the pocket. This is full pressure. And he with his look and his feet, he just bounces outside. Hatcher had a shot at it.
Low driving kick by Flintoff. Grant takes it. Spin move to nowhere as they were all over him. Katoy down the field there to wrap him up. And everybody coming together at the 30-yard line. And eventually it's like a baseball brawl. Everybody says a few things and goes back to their sideline here.
Claps! We got 45 seconds, so 3 minutes. Hey,
Winnipeg Blue Bombers putting together another excellent season.
Well, if they can get this one, they get to 15 wins, and that's never happened in Bomber history. But 9-1 versus the West. That only loss, Zach Collaros did not play. That was 2 weeks ago against the Lions. Drew Brown got the start, got it to within one possession too. So that's how, good this team and how balanced they are.
To do something that has not been done in Bomber history. At least that could be a regular season accomplishment. That's a great push by Oliveira as he drives towards a 1,000-yard season.
He's hungry, and he knows that he probably won't play the whole game. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's been told he won't play the second half. Wants to get it done now. Yeah, you could see that push. I mean, we've seen this type of second effort, since probably week 3 or 4. I mean, he's just been playing hungry. He's not trying to be Andrew Harris.
That's what he told us, right?
That was about week 4. He said, I stopped trying to be Andrew Harris and just be myself.
There they go right back to him again, and an excellent push ahead on first down one more time from Brady Oliveira.
Getting closer.
Well, it turns out the Bombers are still scary good. They've been carving up the Lions defense tonight. I got a million of those. By the way, you guys thought you were going to the Grey Cup. Unfortunately, we blew the entire budget on these Halloween decorations and this music.
Chaz, take off your mask.
20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds.
What are you dressing up as this year, Suits?
I'm going to go as Dustin, play-by-play man extraordinaire.
And I'm going to dress up like Teen Wolf. I have this Teen Wolf costume I wear every year because it's nice and warm when I go out with the kids trick-or-treating.
Dominic Grimes said that Nathan Rourke was like Wolverine, the way he heals.
Heals so quickly, yeah. Prukop on the run to his right, down the field, the completion is shown. Schoen's going to take it inside the 30, down to the 20, staying on his feet. Won't be stopped, down to the 5, almost got there. What an effort from Dalton Schoen. There's a flag, but I believe it's for roughing the passer anyway.
Schoen's putting on a show. He's had such a great season. Let's just put him right in the spotlight. Number 2 to that side of the field.
Major foul, roughing the passer. BC number 98 will go up half the distance from the other run. It's going to be first down.
Layered routes and then just yards after the catch, breaking some tackles, getting inside the 5-yard line. Here's your roughing the passer call. Looks like it's Boom Guacham. Clearly a high hit.
Kind of left his feet, couldn't do anything else on that play. Schoen's phenomenal night, phenomenal season continuing. Willie Jefferson is lining up to go against Gary Peters here. Now they're just going to try to push it ahead. And they are stopped just short.
Was that Mike Miller? That
it was 24, wasn't it?
Well, this is just having some fun now. I mean, this is a game that you know what this does a couple things. The guys love to practice it all week because it switches things up. Prukop is back there, but he doesn't get the direct snap. It goes to Mike Miller, and Willie Jefferson had lined up as a wideout, and Jefferson is going to run an actual fade route. But you know what it does? It also makes teams go, well, now we've got to scout against that. There's Jefferson again.
Miller slides in there again, but there's flags on the play this time, and it'll be against the Bombers.
That's going to push him back
Winnipeg
to
number 69. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
push him back to sort of a passing situation down here on the goal line. They're going to leave big number 5 in there at wideout. I think, well, I don't know. He's going to try and...
No, the fun's over. He was trying to get back in that huddle, wasn't he?
He was
Just sneak in there.
Nonchalantly walk in. No, nothing's happening here. Nothing to see here.
Yosh, tap on the head there for Miller. He's got 1 touchdown in his career. Now the Bombers will get back to business here. 2nd and goal from the BC 6. Brady Oliveira standing in there to the left of his quarterback. Prukop in the game. Kolaris watches from the sideline after throwing a couple of touchdowns himself the first quarter. Prukop looking for Ellingson. Rugamba slid underneath and broke it up. Won't be picked off. But a nice play by 33, having a sensational rookie season here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's why I said, with all due respect to putting the Rookie of the Year, putting Dalton Schoen's name on the trophy right now. I mean, Schoen is going to win the award, but there's been some great rookie efforts in rookie seasons from a lot of players this year, and he's one of them. I mean, that's great coverage on a veteran slot back. Rumble right there, just a little bit out of bounds.
So after a big play by Schoen to get them within striking distance, the Bombers will settle for a 13-yard attempt from number 13. And Leggio knocks it through. The lead goes back to 14. Bombers on top, 17-3.
Nathan Rourke was nominated for both MOP and Outstanding Canadian. You know, I think Dominic Rhymes, in the season that he has had, he certainly could have been an MOP nominee. You know, I mean, just even when Nathan Rourke went out of the lineup and Vernon Adams came in, he still kept doing his thing, over 1,000 yards, just behind Schoen on the night. Schoen separating a little bit from him.
Whitehead, completion from Adams, right to the 50. And that should be enough for a BC first down with just under 2 minutes to work here in the second quarter.
Again, they're putting him up there by himself. Slant inside. But Rhymes and Schoen, 1 and 2.
Adams near side to Whitehead.
And keep in mind that the BC Lions going into that semifinal will get Brian Burnham back.
Lucky Whitehead just picked up a 1,000-yard season as well. He threw a ball over to the sideline. So Rhymes joined by Hatcher and Whitehead. And if Burnham would have been healthy for the season, he might have had 1,000 as well. Second and 2. Bombers showing some pressure. They get it out to Whitehead, far side of the field, pushes ahead for a BC Lions first down with 1 minute and 11 seconds on the clock.
There's Brian Burnham, who made the trip and will have the headset on. You know, that's when you know the player's really close. They go on the road. He comes with the team, doesn't dress, but he's listening to every play call coming down from Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator.
He'll be ready to step back in.
Yeah, that's big.
Hatcher hangs on to this one in a tight window, turns it back upfield for a first down. That was pretty much the only place that ball could end up.
Yeah, and he fights through. You know, I've liked a couple plays here in that, you know, sometimes you see receivers will catch these and then they'll try to back up, turn around, and then try to make moves on guys. Both he and Lucky Whitehead have backed into it just to get an extra yard or two.
First and 10 from the 34. Over the middle, Rhymes wide open. Takes it down almost to the 10. Stopped just shy. And a nice drive by the BC Lions here to wrap up the opening half.
Yeah, Vernon Adams looks real good. He's reading it nicely, and this is against the zone. And watch him just hit number 19 right in that window. You'll see it. Flashes right there. Doesn't run through the window. Just sits down. Love it.
22 yards to Rhymes. 20 seconds on the clock for Vernon Adams. 3 options out to his left. Now he's in trouble, trying to take off on the run, and we'll just throw this one away outside the end zone and take another crack at it with 11 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go to the one receiver side, and over there was Alexander Hollins to his right, and Hollins ended up getting double teamed. He got covered down by Winston Rose, and also I believe the safety, Brandon Alexander, came over and helped out. So Vernon Adams decided to throw it away and save the loss.
Second and 10 from the Winnipeg 12. 3 points from Sean White. All they have so far.
Avoid the line.
Multiple flags on the play here. Play clock was ticking down. Looked like some movement as well as the play clock ticked down. The officials will discuss this. Looks like it might be against the Bombers, and they're not happy with it. Trying to sort this out. O'Shea has called an official over to his sideline. And now Ben Major's actually running right over to talk to O'Shea as well. You think they're saying, well, what about the play clock ticking down?
Hey, well, I'm sure. But
Here we go.
Time count violation. BC number 8. It's a loss of down. It makes it 3rd down.
Okay, so it'll be a loss of down, make it 3rd down instead of the 2nd.
Just the way that was executed, Dustin, it looks to me like the command center had to, in real time, tell the
Looked like that was going against the Bombers, didn't it?
Yeah, because it looked like the Bombers were offside. But they must have, from the command center, said that the play clock ran out.
Well, it's 3rd down. And now more confusion on the field. The Lions have about 20 players out there right now.
And inside of 3 minutes, you lose it down on a delay of game penalty. So it's not just yardage. You're going to have to line up for a field goal now.
So Sean White will come out to finish off this drive. It'll just be a 19-yarder for White. He's only missed 1 in his last 11 games. BC trying to come away with something from a drive late in the 2nd quarter. Hold looks good. White swings through and knocks it home. And BC will put 3 more on the board, trailing 17-6 late in the first half. Halftime coming up. Do not go anywhere. They got the spooky decorations on the set.
I wonder if anyone's wearing shorts.
If somebody was, who would it be?
It won't be Milt.
No, it won't be Milt.
Not a chance. Probably Dave Naylor.
I was going to say Dave Naylor. Sorry, Dave, but I was going to say Dave Naylor. Chez probably has too big a clothing budget to wear shorts. He pays for pants. So everybody getting their touches here in the first half.
Yeah.
Kolaris, good start. Rourke got back into game action, which was a positive as well.
Pruka getting some looks.
Hand it off to Oliveira, pushing ahead, lunching up towards 50. 10 more yards
Is that what he
for
needs?
him there. That puts him up to 52. And he's still just shy. Needed 19 more to get to 1,000.
And you know who does not care about the 1,000-yard seasons and all of that at all, really? Their head coach.
You leave him in to get him 1,000, don't you?
You do whatever the plan is, regardless of whether he gets to 1,000. Don't get me wrong, Mike O'Shea would be happy and proud of his guys for their accomplishments, but
well, final play of the half, and here he goes, needs 19, and I think he got it, almost right on the nose. 1,000 yards in style for Brady Oliveira.
he's trying to figure out what he got because he's going to keep the ball too.
How about that? Now he can sit out the second half. He needed 19 yards for 1,000. There's 5, 10, 15. He's got 20.
I think he got it.
He got 20. Let's send it back to the panel. Well, what an absolutely beautiful late October night in Winnipeg. Good shot of IG Field there. The Bombers on top, 17-6 at the half. And Farhan Lalji is with Nathan Rourke.
Nathan, so much anticipation around your return. How do you assess your performance in those 3 series?
Pretty good. What do you think?
I thought you were pretty good, but my opinion doesn't matter.
Well, it matters to me.
I know at the end you were a little upset with that last sort of rhymes and wanted to lucky earlier. You said earlier in the week that you liked how you were seeing the game, but you still needed to work on the throwing aspect of it a little bit. Where are you in that regard?
Yeah, I didn't think I made any mental errors, which is good, right? It's just kind of seeing things and stood in there for some hits, and which is all fun and part of it, and just some things you need to iron out physically. I felt like I did in the preseason game where I missed some throws, but there's a reason that you get the opportunity to do these type of things, so I'm fine with it.
How does the foot feel?
Feels good. Yeah.
Thanks for this.
No problem.
Foot feels good.
Yeah, that's most important. That's most important. Like I've often said, Zach Kolaris only played a couple series as well. Nathan Rourke, the 3 series in the first quarter. But the foot feels good. That's the most important part.
Janarian Grant tripped up at the 30. He was looking to break one. Bruce Anderson down the field. Got some good speed of his own, able to trip him up, and looks like we're going to get to see a little bit more of Dakota Prukop here in the second half.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, great first two drives by Zach Collaros, who looked real sharp with the starting offense. Dalton Schoen put on another show in the first half, and Greg Ellingson has made a couple of catches in his return from the injured list.
Prukop was 1 of 5, but that one went for 62 yards to Dalton Schoen. Augustine now into the game. And he is wrapped up. That'll be a loss on first down of a couple of yards, and it'll be second and long.
So now we'll see some backups in the second half. That was Johnny Augustine playing for Brady Oliveira, who on the very last run of the first half got to 1,000 yards rushing.
He needed 19 on the final play of the half if you missed it.
Love it.
He got 20.
1,000 yards. Yes, Nick.
I'm just trying to be like Dembski, man. Be like you.
Trying to get like him, Michael.
Prukop in trouble. They'll take him down, throws it away at the last second, and it'll be ruled an incomplete pass. All the pressure in the world there coming from Matthew Betts.
Matthew Betts wants to add to his sack total and get to 8. I'm surprised that wasn't ruled a sack.
That was close. When you look there, it looked like that knee was down. Maggio set to kick it away. Betts having a really nice year establishing himself as an elite pass rusher with the BC Lions coming over from Edmonton. Williams takes it cleanly at the 30. Shy Ross rather into the game, and Ross returns it all the way back out to about the BC 45.
Vernon Adams took over in the second quarter. I thought that last drive before the end of the half looked real confident, some real nice throws against both zone and man. Keeping in mind that the Bombers in that first half played their starting group pretty much across the board on defense, and that includes Jackson Jeffcoat coming back off the injured list.
Adams was 8 of 14 for 93 yards. Hatcher and Whitehead out to his right. Both of those guys eclipsing 1,000 yards receiving on the season in the first half. And this will be pushed ahead. Pretty good pickup on first down from the running back, Bruce Anderson.
So any team, whether it's the BC Lions or the Calgary Stampeders that win that semi, we talk about, can any team beat the Bombers here at home in the West Final? They got to contain on defense Jackson Jeffcoat, who's back in the lineup, and Willie Jefferson. I mean, at the end of the day, those two guys will take over a game by themselves. That will be the goal of whomever comes out of that semifinal.
That semifinal should be a doozy. They'll go back to Anderson here. He is wrapped up and taken down. It was Sales who got there originally, and then some help to finish him off. The one thing about this Bombers defense, and we've seen it for a few years now, they just continue to make big plays in key moments. They actually have the fewest sacks in the league this year, so maybe not as much pressure as we saw, or at least the ability to get to the quarterback and finish these plays.
Yeah, middle of the pack in interceptions as well, but when you look at the give takeaway category, pretty much most important, they're second, you know, and a plus 13.
Calgary the only one better. Towering kick here. Grant's going to let it bounce.
And go in.
Now he's going to have to pick it up at the 3. 55-yard kick. A beauty there from Flintoff as he drops it in. And the Bombers will be backed up here. Just over 3 minutes gone in the third. Well, at halftime, another name up onto the Ring of Honor here at IG Field. Joe Poplawski joining a great group of names already up on the Ring of Honor.
Hall of Famer, and now
one of the great receivers in Bomber history, third all-time on their receivers yardage list behind only Milt Stegall and James Murphy. And played against Joe, and I'm often asked about covering different receivers. What was it like to cover different receivers? To that in a sec.
There's a receiver hauling it in.
Now,
A little bit of a low pass, but he went down and got it.
Now, I was a safety, so I didn't cover one-on-one all that much. But I always felt it was tough to cover guys that were great route runners. That's Tom Clemens, by the way, and there's Poplawski, and I think this is Saskatchewan, and I believe I had a good ticket for that touchdown watching that from the end zone. But it's the route runners that were so hard, the deceptive guys, not necessarily flat out speed. That speed is kind of hard or easier to cover because you just turn earlier and then you're running with the receiver. A guy that could route run like Poplawski was just impossible because he turns you inside out. You know, all the different moves and the great speed and toughness. Congratulations to Joe Poplawski and his family. Brian Kelly was very similar. Brian Kelly was a nightmare to cover. I bet you his 40 time was forever. But try and cover Brian Kelly or Joe Poplawski.
Augustine pushing it ahead, lunging out. There's a flag on the play. Poplawski, I was reading up, said he was acquired via trade from Edmonton. Won Rookie of the Year, most outstanding rookie in '78, two-time most outstanding Canadian as well.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those this year where we say that GMs must look at some of those trades and go, oh, man.
Major foul, face mask, BC. Number 91. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play.
Teams
it's
back
a first
then.
down.
Yes, they did.
A nice find for the Bombers there, obviously, in the Poplawski trade.
Yeah, there's a face mask call, but this has got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a successful drive because remember, this started, even if it doesn't end in points now, this drive started on their own 7-yard line.
You think we'll see Drew Brown in this game at some point? Does he get the fourth quarter, or is this his Prukop's game? Brown already had one, right? So
it's a good question.
There's Prukop. He's going to look down the field for Schoen. Tried to get back to it, and it falls incomplete. No flags on the play. Working against Gary Peters, defensive nominee this year for outstanding defensive player for the Lions.
Yeah, see Gary Peters is one pick back of the lead. Jamal Peters in Toronto has the lead in interceptions with 6 on the season. Peters is at 5. Gary Peters,
he wanted a flag there.
And he wanted a flag because he thought Schoen kind of grabbed him very subtly, pulled him past.
Well, he got both hands on that arm and helped him through, I guess we could say. And he stays on his feet, takes it down inside the 45-yard line.
How about that nice lean from O'Leary Orange to catch this in stride and lean up the field as he's catching it. Just caught that and then turned it up the field. Extra 10 yards.
Big guy. He's got that Schaefer Baker type build with the Riders. You know, 6'4", 6'5", 205, 210 pounds.
Another Schaefer Baker, another nominee. Outstanding player award.
Prukop turns this one right up the middle, off to the races. Taken down after picking up a first down, just shy of the Lions' 30, a 14-yard scamper for Prukop.
Yeah, now they're in field goal range. So worst case scenario, Bombers looking at a field goal here. Boy, that's an interesting play to turn your back completely to the defense, hide the football, and then spin out of it on a quarterback draw. But now with field goal range, it goes from a good drive to a great drive, and if they can finish with a major, outstanding drive.
Prukop's got 39 yards on the ground on 4 carries. This time they'll give it to Augustine. A nice burst and a big pickup on first down again for the Bombers. Chalk up 9 more.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of looks that we haven't really seen from Buck Pierce as far as the play calling and just the type of runs we're seeing. Like that spin from Prukop on that last quarterback draw the play before. I haven't seen that from the Bombers. A couple of reasons. The Bombers had the bye week. so they could add to the plays, add to the playbook a little bit. But also, you can add a couple of plays that get teams scouting. So whomever comes out of the semifinal is going to look at this video and go, hey, we got to defend against that play too.
When Prukop gets in the game, and they'll mix him in. They'll mix him in a little bit, even when Kolaris is good to go for a full game. You'll see a little steady dose of Prukop along the way.
Some great coordinators in this league, and one of the best that's settled in so nicely into that job. He's the quarterback coach here before he took over as the OC for Paul LaPolice, and he and the working relationship with Zach Kolaris just as good as it gets in pro football.
Gets on that head coach radar, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Prukop, couple of fakes. Now throws it down the sideline, and it's hauled in by Rashid Bailey for a first down.
You know, Mike Miller's been playing a ton at tight end, but just watch the action here on this play. Go ahead and run it, guys. Like this is a play the Bombers have not run. Fake there, fake toss there to Mike Miller, roll out and throw the out on the sideline. 14-yard gain on a play that I haven't done every Bomber game, but on a play that I have not seen the Bombers run all season. And what a drive this has become from their own 7-yard line.
10th play of the drive, basically gone the entire field. Right ahead with Augustine trying to push through, and the Lions say no. Multiple whistles, nobody's listening to them.
It's like the opposite of a tug of war. two 12 guys pushing one way, 12 guys pushing the other. Watch Mike Muller. He gets a kickoff block, then he sees the pile and he jumps in there and tries to push. Did he cross the plane? No, I don't think he got the ball there. There's Miller.
They kept going though. They're back and forth, right?
Well, here comes Willie Jefferson back at wide receiver.
Jefferson back into the game. It'll be second and goal from the BC 1.
There he is, right there.
Pushing ahead, trying to power it through. Are they in? Touchdown, Winnipeg. Miller finishes the job this time.
Well, he got a couple of runs and they didn't get in because they got an offside call in the first half. Clearly they want to get a touchdown to their best special teams cover guy in Mike Miller. And that's one end. And then the other end, to get Willie Jefferson out at wideout has been fun to watch. I mean, they haven't thrown him the ball yet.
I'd like to see it one time.
But he broke the huddle and walks out there like he knows exactly what he's doing out there. I mean, he breaks the huddle, and every wide receiver will look at the official and they'll say, am I onside? Just to double check to make sure. Am I onside? Because, you know, you could be way outside of the offensive line, and Willie Jefferson played the part perfectly.
Second career touchdown for Miller. His first on the offensive side of the ball. And now the extra point will be hammered through, and Winnipeg is on top, 24.
Here he goes, Dustin. Watch this. Break the huddle. Willie, I'm a wide receiver. Am I onside? Am I onside? You got me? You got me? Okay, let's go. Let's do this. One of my favorite athletes in football. That tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, you like that position?
I just, great athletes, great hands, do it all, block, catch, run.
Return from Shy Ross. Not return of the tight end.
Not return. Not usually.
Trying to think. It's probably not going to happen. Bombers working towards another W here tonight. Friday night football trivia of the season. Who set the all-time receiving yards record on a Friday night? Completion to Hatcher.
What do you think about that?
This is one of those ones I think a lot of people can get without cheating.
Is Googling cheating?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. All right, you got to come up with this one off the top of your head.
It's a lion or a bomber.
Exactly. He's had a good season, but it's not Dembski. He's had a really nice season.
I ain't doing nothing today. Get the camera on in.
Second and 2 here. Vernon Adams remains in no picking this time. They're going to hand it off to the running back and pushing ahead here. Nice pickup. Definitely got the first down. As they're getting some.
Milt Stiegel is an obvious one. And he was back in studio, I'm sure, yelling his name.
It's
like,
me!
It's me!
It's me!
That'd be an obvious thought.
There's a look up on the Ring of Honor. Added Poplawski earlier tonight. There's a few Stiegel jerseys kicking around the stadium. After the first down, they work from their own 54. Adams makes the handoff, steps up, down the field. He's got Rhymes wrapped up and taken down by Hallett, but not before he picks up more than enough for a first down.
Yeah, I really like how Vernon Adams, he's been very composed in the pocket. This is can be an intimidating front four here in Winnipeg. And stepped up nicely and threw it across his body to get it out there to Dominique Rhymes.
Rhymes now over 1,400 yards receiving this season. Sensational campaign. That one comes in a little bit low. Got his hands on it. Parker there in coverage, and it falls incomplete. Second and 10 for the Lions. Second 1,000-yard season for Rhymes. Great addition to the BC Lions. Putting up a 1,400-yard campaign on this side of the ball, and then you got 83 over on the Bombers side.
1 and 2. I wonder if Dalton Schoen is checking Dominique Rhymes' yardage total.
4 options to the right for Adams. He's going to go to the left, and that is broken up and batted down by Rose, working against Alexander Hollins.
Yeah, great knockdown. I mean, again, Hollins runs this out, and he's just going to turn to the sideline. Look at Rose in that nice back pedal, inside position, defense against the deep route, and then breaks out of that and comes around with the knockdown. It's outstanding corner play and one-on-one coverage for Winston Rose.
Hollins trying to make an impact here, make an impression, maybe have a job next year with the BC Lions, getting an opportunity to do that tonight. Sean White, 2 for 2. He's made from 37 to 19. This one left hash from 44. And once again, money. Sean White knocks it home, over 90% on the season. Best in the league this year. Nathan Rourke and Zach Collaros. For more on their relationship, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, maybe a budding relationship, and there's certainly been a lot of debate about whether or not Rourke should be considered for one of the 2 major awards he's a nominee for, the Top Canadian and the MOP. 2 weeks ago, before the Lions and Bombers played, I was speaking to Rourke before the game, and Collaros came up and joined us. Rourke looked at him and said, "You've got my vote." And you get the sense these two men have a pretty good relationship for each other, even though pretty good respect for each other, even though they don't know each other that well. Rourke said to me, he's got what everybody wants. He's playing the game at such a high level at this stage of his career. And Collaros, for his part, really likes the way that Rourke has handled himself, both off the field and on. And I said to him, I said, did it bother you that he got that much attention, even though you're the 2-time Grey Cup champion and the reigning MOP? He's like, no, he can have it. But if he thinks he's getting a lot of attention in Vancouver, he should try walking the streets at some point in Regina and see what the attention looks like there. And if you know Rourke, he's not overly comfortable with the media, but as you saw at halftime with me, he's getting there, guys.
He's getting there. And you know, he could be walking around here, too, with the fans.
Well, it's somewhere Cody Fajardo's watching and going, yes,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But he is getting more and more comfortable all the time. And And we saw an example of that in that halftime interview when he turned to Farhan and went, "What do you think?"
He's just a nice kid. I mean, he's a nice guy.
And I'm going to just say that I think a generational player. I think his ability to read and react and get the ball out of his hands is something I've not seen in my time in the league.
Drew Brown now in at quarterback for the Bombers. Waste no time. Down the field. Where's that one? Almost intercepted. Bounced off a couple of bodies and fell incomplete. Adrian Green had a decent crack at it. But that'll bring up third down.
Well, I believe the target was shown down the field, and he was right in there in that number 2 spot. So let's take a look at him. He's just running a straight go, and he's running it on Jalen Edwards-Cooper at that halfback position, and it hits the back of Cooper and almost intercepted by Adrian Green. But a nice look back, didn't interfere with him.
Oh, that close to your first career interception. Leggio gets it away. Ross takes it at the 22, 44-yard kick. Ross, of course, out of bounds. Let's get to your answer for Friday Night Football trivia. Was it Milt? It was not Milt.
No, it was, well, let's just say another goat.
Yep.
And Milt was in attendance when G-Roy got it done. And now he's got some work to do in Edmonton.
A little bit.
GM of the Edmonton Elks.
Working there with Chris Jones. They did get Dylan Mitchell and Kevin Brown signed to contract extensions this week. A couple of big pieces for them in the future. Here's former Edmonton Elk Bruce Anderson running it to the outside. Short pickup on first down.
So clearly we've seen the last of James Butler in this game as well. It's very difficult for these coaches to try and rest a bunch of players in games like this, and especially, you know, the second half. But
roster just doesn't really allow it, does it? You need guys to play.
Rosters aren't big enough. We haven't seen Adam Bighill in the second half. Got the baseball hat on.
2nd and 7, final play of the third quarter. VA out of the pocket, on the run, and look at him go. Down to the 50 with a slide. Nobody anywhere around him. And he takes off for an easy 16 yards on the ground. Stepping in and taking over for Nathan Rourke, who got himself back into action tonight. Vernon Adams doing it through the air, this time for 16 yards on the ground. 3 quarters in the books at IG Field. Fourth quarter coming up here at IG Field in Winnipeg. Bombers on top 24-9. We know that Bombers are going to be hosting the West Final and the Lions are going to play the Stampeders. Some milestones hit tonight though. Lucky Whitehead 1,000, Keon Hatcher 1,000, Brady Oliveira rushing now for 1,000 on the year. Nice night for those guys.
Yeah, Brady Oliveira, I think that was an interesting way he got there when he got that 21-yarder on the last play of the first half, because we haven't seen him in the second half. So it is nice to get some of those personal accomplishments, but next week is when it really begins. And, you know, we have 3 games tomorrow to wrap up the regular season, and the playoffs are around the corner, and I cannot wait. And I know you can't either. Nathan Rourke played that first quarter, a few series there, said the foot feels fine.
Lucky Whitehead broken up on the far side of the field by Ford again. He's made 3 or 4 pretty nice plays getting the start here today for Winnipeg.
Yeah, now this is what you're worried about when you don't have a big roster. You don't have a big roster to have, you know, to be able to rest a bunch of guys, but this is the one you worry about because his knee goes down.
Just getting back.
Yeah.
Now they look at him on the sideline. That'll be the last we see of him tonight for sure. And they'll try to make sure he's ready for that game against Calgary. And gunned in there. Very close to a first down to Katoy. little slow to get up as well. He's got a little bit of a limp here as they look at Lucky Whitehead on the bench. See that grimace?
Yeah.
A little bit of pain. Now they're going to come out and take a look. I think it was Katoy that went back down after being very slow getting up. Now he sits at midfield, and they're going to come over and look at his left leg. Trying to get out of this thing healthy are both sides in the game tonight. There's another look at Katoy. Took a pop right on that left thigh. Ouch. Welcome back to IG Field in Winnipeg. Friday Night Football for the final time here in year 25 of Friday Night Football. Lions getting a little banged up in receiver position here in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back plays. Lucky Whitehead and Katoy coming out of the games. Katoy's up and walking around on the sideline. There he is, getting that left leg looked at, taped up a little bit.
And it looked like he was trying to keep it loose. It was a helmet right to the thigh. Lucky Whitehead's going to go in for some evaluation, still moving.
Well, for Winnipeg, they've got time. BC doesn't have time. They get the Calgary Stampeders at home. Looks like a good buzz in Vancouver for that West semifinal as well.
Got Shai Ross playing out there, back on the roster, playing on it wide out.
Adams with time. And that pass throw behind lines takes a heavy shot in the back after it falls incomplete. Jamal Parker gave him a good pop. Felt that one for sure.
Yeah, crossing route here, and well, the throw was pretty much on target. He just took a peek. He took a peek at Jamal Parker coming down towards him.
Flintoff gets it away end over end. It's going to bounce at the 22. Grant takes it on a one-hopper. Flags there as he steps out of bounds at the 30.
No yards. BC number 2. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be first down.
Looking at a nominee.
Yeah, I mean, as far as special teams go, he's pretty darn dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah, there he is at the bottom of that Bomber list of CFL Award nominees. CFL Award show will be on Thursday at Grey Cup week in Saskatchewan and Regina. And Zach Collaros, I believe, will be the front runner in MOP. Willie Jefferson hasn't had a huge statistical year.
He's had bigger years, yeah.
Yeah. I like Nick Dembski, an outstanding Canadian. Well, he's going against Nathan Rourke, and then that, how many games, counting, and
that's such a tough debate. I mean, there's cases to be made on both sides of it. Brown rolls out, tries to gun one in there for Bailey, but it's broken up cleanly by Gary Peters.
Dembski's missed 4 games. If you're just looking at Dembski versus Nathan Rourke, an outstanding Canadian. Rourke missed 8 games. Dembski's missed 4. Adam Konar is Edmonton's nominee. Keon Schaefer-Baker,
Another option in the West.
and Cam Judge.
Judge has had a really nice season. Brown looking for Bailey, and that falls short. Dropped incomplete at the 40, and that'll bring him third down with just over 12 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Well, that motion that we've seen a little bit from Buck Pierce, where they hit that line on the run. Just a little bit short on that throw.
Shai Ross waiting for this kick. Leggio boots it away from his own 27. Spinning in there, Ross takes it cleanly. Upended on the return, and a flag on the play as well. And it looks like we're going to get a look at Antonio Pipkin when we return to IG Field. Welcome back to Winnipeg, everyone. Talked about the Bombers nominees just a few moments ago. Here's a look at what BC's bringing to the table.
Yeah, Gary Peters, I mentioned, just one pick away from tying for the league lead. Joel Figueroa is their outstanding lineman nominee, and then Sean White, who's been money all year. I mean, like I mentioned Gamba in the first half. Defensive player, who do you like out of the West? Sean Lemon, Jake Ceresna out of Edmonton?
Probably Lemon with the season that he's had. Part of a really good Calgary defense overall, right? Like when you're BC and Calgary and then Winnipeg, all of these teams, they can run the ball. They've got great quarterbacks. They can defend extremely well.
What about Darnell Sankey?
Sankey had a monster year as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's...
I'm really glad I'm not a part of that process moving forward, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I am. But, you know, it's interesting because how much do you weigh wins and losses when it comes to the individual player award?
Because that's what it is, right? It's an individual award.
It's an individual award, individual season performances in the season.
Pipkin comes up short, Shai Ross on the far side, and that'll be a quick 2-and-out here for the Lions.
You know, Sankey had more tackles than anyone in the league, but Sean Lemon second in sacks, and you know, having a great year. We'll see him tomorrow night. Well, we'll see how long we'll see him if he does play, but he'll be ready for the playoffs. I think he's got to be a front runner there.
I think that's a fair assessment. Big kick here from Flintoff.
But Sankey had a great season.
Grant looking for some space, not going to find it. They will wrap him up and take him down at the 40.
Here's the other thing about the awards. If it's between an offensive guy and a defensive guy, like a receiver, like Keon Schaefer-Baker and Nick Dembski versus Gary Peters, something like that.
Yeah.
Or a Canadian DB or something. Like guess who wins? Guess who always wins?
Oh, this is the defensive guy talking here. Well, Cam Judge, Canadian, right? Going up against Canadian receivers. That's an example.
Okay. So Cam Judge against Keon Schaefer-Baker and Nick Dembski for Canadian. Cam Judge has a monster year. He leads the league in huge turnover plays on defense. That's all defenders, American or Canadian. And yet, whenever I think the voting happens and it goes between a DB and a receiver or a tailback or a quarterback, forget it, DB. Don't even think about it. I'm not sure you have to show up.
Once again, I'm happy to not be involved in the process moving forward.
And yes, I'm whining on behalf of DBs everywhere.
Near side. Oh, he almost had it. Gary Peters almost had number 6.
Come on, Gary. I needed that right at that moment.
That would have been big. That would have been big for you right there, Glenn.
I needed this, Gary Peters. Come on. Make my point on in the DB department. Oh. He's had a great year. TJ Lee's had a good year too. Had a pick 6. He's not playing tonight. He'll be ready for the playoff game. Had a pick 6 a couple weeks ago against the Bombers.
Marcus Ailes has 4 interceptions this year as well. Touchdown.
Yep.
Legio, that's a 5. BC defense, they can play. Ross takes this in the far side, 51-yard kick, wrapped up and taken down immediately. Nick Howlett had 11 special teams tackles on the season coming into the game tonight. You give him one more right there. Shai Ross going nowhere. Well, it's been an excellent season in the Canadian Football League as we kick off the final weekend of action. And we've done a lot of games, Glenn, and a lot of them have been thrilling this year.
Yeah, that final 3 minutes has been outstanding this year. That's the best 3 minutes in any sport in the world, in my opinion. And to get there 61% of the time, just amazing. One possession games, final 3 minutes. Saw the come from behind wins this year, scoring over 50 points per game. Both teams average scoring up, quarterback play outstanding. And the Canadian influence has been great this year. I mean, world-class Canadian athletes like Nathan Rourke and Keon Schaefer-Baker and Cam Judge, and guys that have a chance to play in their own backyard, play professional football. Great season.
And the Bombers three-peat looming over all of it, right? Trying to slay the Giant in the playoffs this year. They'll get it to Anderson out of the backfield, stumbling a bit, stays on its feet. And we've got a BC Lions first down.
And that is the biggest one. The one you just mentioned is the biggest. I mean, it's been great regular season. Seen some outstanding performances, games down to the wire. A lot of the Bomber wins early in the season were one-possession games. They were finding different ways. The defense would come up with a big play. The special teams, Janarian Grant would come up with a big play. Zach Collaros created some magic offensively in the dying seconds or minutes.
9-0 at one point this season. A loss eventually here at home to Montreal. Keon Hatcher pick up another first down for the Lions. 7.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's when you look at the Bombers season. They lost to Montreal and they lost to Hamilton. Those were games that they still were fighting for first. That Montreal game, certainly. In that game against Montreal, that was a 3-point loss. They committed 4 turnovers, and this is what's been so good about this Bomber team. They're the most disciplined team in the league, fewest penalties. They've second only to Calgary in the giveaway takeaway category. They're putting points on the board and are third in that regard, over 30 points per game. So the question is, and I'm getting all week long, can this team be beat in the playoffs?
I mean, my answer would be yes, because the other two teams in the West would be, you know, a Grey Cup caliber team any other year as well.
Absolutely.
Right? Both Calgary and BC.
And think back to that. Okay, so Montreal beats them 2017 in a game that Winnipeg uncharacteristically turned the ball over 4 times. But
including late.
Right, but think back to the Calgary matchups with the Bombers. One possession games, final 3 minutes, all of them.
And they took all of them. They found a way, right?
And they found a way, and that's what championship teams do. And that's why they're poised to three-peat. But boy, it is going to be fun getting there.
Man, I think I've been telling you for about 8 weeks now. I'm like, man, I can't wait till the playoffs in the West, because it does look like it's going to be 2 incredible football games, no matter how it sorts itself out. How much do you buy into they've done it? I know the Bombers tell us at the beginning of the year it's a new group. We haven't won a championship with this group because, you know, you got your Shones and some of these guys who haven't been here. But how much do you buy into the fact that they're the group that's done it? They're the group that's gone through it. How much of an advantage is it compared to the Lions or the Stands?
Massive. Yeah, it's huge because they know how to prepare. They know what to expect. They know, you know, the demands that will be on them. If they do get to the Grey Cup, it's a completely different beast to handle the media. They get the home field advantage in the final. They're 1 game away from getting back to the Cup.
Anderson takes it again, trying to find some room on the far side. Heavy collision. There's not a head in that helmet. Helmet came off.
Pop out there on the outside.
Dietrich Nichols.
Yeah, that's his second or third hit like that tonight.
He hit Lucky Whitehead earlier in the game.
There's a DB. No, I'm just sorry. Won't go down that one again. But
he was an all-star last year.
5'9", 184, and he's bringing it.
Here's Pipkin. In trouble, trying to get away. Jeffco tracks him down. 4th sack of the season for Jackson Jeffco.
Yeah, they do this well. It's a little stunt where one goes one way and Jeffcoat loops around underneath. It's not really a full blitz. There's still only 4 going, but they loop, and that catches the offensive line in Noah Zur off guard. He can't regroup and redirect, and Jackson Jeffcoat's got his 4th.
This kick hangs up there forever. Grant eventually brings it down, right back up the middle, takes it outside the 40 with 5:55 on the clock. Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Guys, you mentioned earlier there's a lot of buzz around the Western semifinal at BC Place next Sunday, and it really began on Tuesday when the club sold 10,000 tickets that day, which also happened to be the day that they announced Nathan Rourke would be starting. It was his first full practice. Rick Lawlisher, the club president, who spent a lot of time in Edmonton, said he has never been around a single day like that. They've managed to maintain that momentum. There's now only a couple of thousand seats left for the lower bowl, and if they fill up as expected, by early next week, they will announce the upper bowl is going to be open. And as a tribute to Wally Buono, they're going to make sure the roof is closed.
Oh, it should be a great atmosphere out there next weekend.
You know, and Amar Dolman, we should mention, has done just an excellent job of engaging the fan base again. You know, it's going to take a long time to continue to do it and continue to be consistent with it, but you know, you drive up and down the streets of Vancouver right now, you see the Lions banners everywhere, off the street lights, all in downtown Vancouver. The last game of the regular season for them at home was 2 weeks ago against Winnipeg, and that was sold out in the lower bowl. It was announced during the game. You know, and that was a game where a lot of backups for the Bombers were playing, like Drew Brown. So, you know, I think he has really taken huge steps towards re-engaging that fan base, and you walk outside an hour or two before kickoff and they are partying out there. I imagine that West Semi is going to be the exact same deal.
Brown in trouble, and he is taken down. A number of BC Lions getting there. Gwacher, Betts, Haladic, all in the mix.
It's been a nice discovery, I'll say. I mean, that's not necessarily I mean, the coaching staff for the Lions knew what they had, but Haladic got a chance to play early in the season and start because of the injury to Bola Combo, and really kept that starting job.
Talked to him a couple of weeks ago about his time at UBC, and he did play defensive end quite a bit with the Thunderbirds as well. And he said, you know, they moved me down a little bit this year from his linebacker position. Doesn't have the typical build of a defensive end in the CFL, but played it a little bit in U Sports. Ross on the return takes it just outside the 40. We're talking a lot about the award nominees tonight here, Glenn, and this is a big one for you.
Yeah, it is. It's the Jake Goddard Veterans Award, and it is an award that's given to the Canadian in the league that best represents the men and women in the Canadian forces, comradeship, perseverance, strength and courage, and community service. 21 winner was Chris Van Zyl, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and there are your nominees for each team. Jake Goddard, one of the great commissioners in the Canadian Football League's history, and a World War II veteran.
That'll be announced Grey Cup week as well. Get it to Anderson, and he just wrapped up Sales for that pretty decent game. Made sure he went nowhere. Maybe 2 yards. Might give him a couple hard yards on the play.
I'll tell you what, if you're one of these young guys or backup guys that get limited reps, you know, you can open some eyes for future. The Peterman's in there, number 88.
Like you're just putting reps on film, right?
Exactly.
Tape.
Exactly. Ball's thrown to you, come up with a big catch, and the coach's attention. Get more playing time as your journey continues.
2nd and 8 for Pipkin. Pressure coming. Throws it far side. Mackey puts on the brakes. Nice move, and he'll get a first down just past midfield.
He blew a tire with that move.
He's got a great beard hidden underneath that helmet, doesn't he?
Jake Goddard, nominee right there. On cue.
Rose just enough to trip him up in midfield. Time now for your Advil dual action play of the game. A deep shot to Dalton Schoen.
First half, Dalton Schoen. Nice catch over the middle and then gets it down to inside the 5-yard line. 62-yard gain, and that keeps him in front of Dominique Rhymes for first.
Rookie going to lead the league.
Last one to do it was Curtis Marsh back in 2000 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
What a find for the Bombers. Like, you lose Kenny Lawler, you say, oh, we'll bring in Ellingson, and then maybe this Schoen kid can do something. And then he 16 touchdowns and very likely leading the league in receiving yards this season.
Well, it was a race coming into this game tonight. First of all, they were 1 and 2, Schoen and Rhymes. And how much were they going to play, and would they get targeted and all of that? Rhymes is going to end up 40 yards behind him. Now, how much does Eugene Lewis and Tim White play in their final games tomorrow?
Yeah, probably not a lot.
Probably not a lot.
Rhymes still has some time, but he's not even out there right now. So.
It was like 8 seconds.
Second and 4, Pipkin looked like that hit. Got knocked down on the way through, looking for Hollins, but it'll fall incomplete. 3rd and 4. And Flintoff will come out to kick this away. BC will get Calgary. 41-40 win in Calgary with Rourke. 31-29 win and a 25-11 loss in the 3 games that they played this year. Grant bobbles this, ends up out of bounds. We did get a look at Rourke tonight.
Yeah, that was the major story coming in, was that he was back after missing 8 games and started this game tonight. Here are his throws early on. His recognition, excellent. Told Farhan at halftime that he didn't make any mental mistakes as far as where he was trying to throw the ball, and he still wants to get back in that groove as far as just angles and you know, spotting the ball to where he wants it. But the most important good news, I guess, if you're a BC Lions fan, certainly, is that when Farhan asked him how his foot felt, he said, fine. And he's been doing that all game. That's not because he hurt it anymore. It just
part of the plan.
Yeah, part of their plan for this one. Gets another week of practice, and we'll see.
Chance to get even a little bit better from a health perspective. That game that he played against Calgary was a phenomenal football game. 41-40, right down to the wire. If we get anything like that in the West semifinal,
he threw for 488 that night.
I'll pass out. That's it.
Yeah, I know. No, this is our last Friday night of the 25th anniversary.
Fun Friday nights this year.
Yeah, just outstanding. It's really been a staple for Canadian football for 25 years, and some great moments, great athletic performances. Players have put on a show, and Friday night football became appointment viewing. I mean, it really did. Late Paul McLean, one of our producers at TSN, was a big proponent of it early on and got us started in it. And man, it's been fun. It's Friday night football. It's like appointment viewing.
Yeah,
across the country.
3rd and 2. Leggio handling all the kicking duties for the Bombers this year. He'll let this fly. Ross takes it at the 34. Right back up the middle, tripped up and taken down on the play once again.
Well, Michael O'Shea will be the first Bomber coach in the team's history to lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to a 15-win season. And there have been some impressive names that have led this team.
I would like to look back on this league, one south of the border, on teams that go back to back, and then the following year set a franchise record for wins. Like that's what they've accomplished here with O'Shea. Like, it's
no question, and that's
amazing.
That's maybe one of the biggest names that have coached this historic and outstanding franchise. So congratulations for Coach O'Shea, 15 wins, and you know what he's thinking? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, no matter when we talk with O'Shea, and we talk to them every week before a game, he's the same this week as he was in week 1 and week 6 and week 10 and week 14. It's rather remarkable.
Yeah, process, coach them all, make sure they're ready. Obviously, you have to have great players, and the Bombers have great players, but he has created a culture where they really do sincerely care about each other in the locker room, and that gives them advantage every night. I really believe that.
How about Rourke and the Lions on the other side, heading home to face the Calgary Stampeders in the West Center?
Well, Rourke looked good. He didn't look like he was all the way back, but he looked good. It's great that he is back in the lineup. And I'll tell you what, this playoff run in the West and East, it's going to be great on both divisions, but the Lions have some firepower. And how about getting our camera right on a Friday night in the hut?
That's how you wrap it up. That's how you wrap it up here tonight. And you look at what they've done with 14-win seasons. It has not worked out well. What about a 15-win season?
Remains to be seen. Can the Winnipeg Blue Bombers be beat? They'll be hosting in 2 weeks the Western Final.
They were only beaten at home once this season, and now they have to win one more at home to have a shot at making it back to back Grey Cups. The road to the Grey Cup in the West will go through IG Field right here. Rourke and the Lions heading home to take on the Calgary Stampeders in what should be an absolutely phenomenal West semifinal next weekend. A franchise record, 15 wins for the Bombers. That's going to do it for us. We're sending it off to SportsCenter next. Good night from Winnipeg.